To get anything of value, you have to sacrifice.
I know that, Dad, but I think if we continue down this road, it's going to be too detrimental for the kids. It's just too hard.
Do you know that the harder thing to do and the right thing to do are usually the same thing? Nothing that has meaning is easy. Easy doesn't enter into grown-up life.
All you want to do is go back home. You want the warmth, you may want something to eat, you want your girl to hold you. All those things of comfort are there in that 1 second. And this is where people lose. So what I do in that 1 second, because we all think about quitting when shit's hard. But what you have to do in that 1 second is hard to process information during pain. Because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight, save yourself. That's not a rational thought. It's not a thought that's going to get you through hard times.
A lot of entrepreneurship and even personal growth is training yourself on how you respond to hard. Because in the early days, hard was, ooh, stop. This isn't good. This is a warning sign. This is a red flag. I should slow down, or I should stop, I should pivot. But the more I think about it as a competitive landscape, as I'm clear on what this path is supposed to look like, and these rocks and these dragons are things that I'm going to have to slay along the way to get the princess or get the treasure, I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow.
It's a selection effect.
And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to oh, poor everyone else who's going to have to fucking try.
Yeah.
And I think that is so much more motivating as a frame for the exact same circumstance.
Get control of your emotions and carry on with your life. And sometimes you're going to get hit with those waves, and that's okay. I think that's a big misconception, and it sort of relates to what you're saying. Oh, I'm having an emotional moment right now. There's something wrong with me. No, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. The other extreme is, oh, I'm letting my emotions run my life and I'm making a bunch of bad decisions. And my excuse is, well, I lost some friends or I had this traumatic experience happen to me. That's why I'm doing, that's just an excuse. And it's a very easy excuse.
Am I happy? I don't know. Never really thought about it. Don't really care about it. Because all I really cared about was when I looked in that mirror, I saw a piece of shit. Happiness wasn't on the mirror at 16, or when I was 300 pounds. It wasn't like, oh, I'm looking for happiness. No, I'm look at myself in the mirror and say, all right, my did again today. You're a bad boy, because that shit sucks. I have about a couple minutes of that, but I got the carrot. The second I lay down and go to bed, the carrot's gone because I'm waking up all through the night to check the work I did that day. Did I get this drug right? Did I get this right? Did I get that right? What did I do? Oh my God, I'm already losing it. Stick.
If you constantly look at what's missing, it's hard to ever stay fulfilled or happy.
Yeah.
So you have to always do something to try to make yourself happy because you're always noticing what's missing. That's just where your focus goes. There's always something missing. There's always something that's not missing. There's always something beautiful. If you focus on what you have, you're gonna be more fulfilled. Second one, if you focus on what you can control, what you do, it's why you have your own business, it's why who you are. A lot of people focus on what they can't control. It's overwhelming, they're stressed out, they think of all those things. So if you constantly focus on what's missing, you can't control, and the past, which you can't change, what that makes is either angry or sad or frustrated or depressed.
If you see that you have an empty calendar, most people assume that if someone asks you for that time, it's therefore theirs. And it's only not theirs when someone else has claimed it. Your time only belongs to other people. And then you're surprised by the fact that your investment of time has yielded nothing for you when you've given the only and most valuable asset that you have to everyone else, who often give a very poor return on it for you. And so in the beginning, if you don't have money, the only thing you have is time. And so that is the only thing it's the only currency you can spend to improve yourself or get closer to your goals. And so if that's the one currency you have, then why on earth would you give it away?
I think about like brain and I think focus. Like, you know how
so many different things brain can get distracted on, and I'm gonna put focus on this and focus on this and focus on this. Do you think one of the edge you had over everybody else was the biggest percentage of your focus was on one thing? Do you see it that way? Like, that was my edge over everybody else?
I do. At the time, I didn't really understand that, right? So, you know, basketball for me was the most important thing. So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
I believe in God big time. I've had this voice in my head since I was a young kid, so what trained me was that voice. And I'm not gonna go God on you right now, 'cause I don't care if people believe in God or not. That's not my place. I'm not here to judge you. You have your own life and your own things to deal with. This voice in my head guided me to the spot where I'm at today. And if you don't believe that you're here for a reason, your life will seriously hurt. And I start looking at my life and all the shit I went through as God put me, some God, whatever you believe in, put me here to go through this. And now I see all the hundreds of thousands of lives I'm changing by the hell I went through. There's a lot of power in that. So my purpose, as I started going through this journey, instead of looking at like, woe is me, God, man, why the fuck, man, why? I started looking at it as, it's the perfect training ground. You knew exactly what you were doing. You knew exactly what the fuck you were doing, obviously. You put me in every situation possible to tell a story that needed to be told.
You know, when you say to yourself, right, you know what you've got to do, right? We all know what we've got to do. We say to ourselves, I should do it this way, or I should do this. And when you don't do that, and then you carry on, you feel, you know, like I always say, doubt is removed by action. So if you're not working, then that's where the doubt seeps in. So I knew things I should have been doing and things I shouldn't have been doing, and I still did them and didn't do them. If you get me. But now I'm listening to myself, and I followed my internal instruction, and it's just given me more passion and more focus and more drive, and I'm doing what I feel I need to do, and it feels good.
Progression, man, is a key to happiness. Always in a progressive state of progress. You stop progressing and stop moving towards progress, then all of a sudden you lose purpose in life. When you're always moving forward and having a belief in something, then all of a sudden what you're doing actually has purpose, and that makes it very valuable. Perseverance will always override potential, always override genetics. And perseverance isn't this marathon of life. It's not this long race that we have to pursue. It's a lot of short races, back to back to back. Every day we get up and we fight for it. And we plant those seeds in the ground of what we want to bear fruits on.
You're not good enough, okay? Because you got to be so good that you got to be able to outpace the people with the relationships and the connections and the politics and the money. Because you know what? When you go out in the real world, you're going to face that same. You think that doesn't exist in the real world? You think it doesn't exist that people have connections or have, you know, some sort of backdoor deal? Or that's all real, bro. And you're getting your first taste of it here as a young man, which is actually a blessing in disguise. So my advice would be this: if you quit, you're going to quit everything hard in your life, and that's a big problem for you.
If you focus more on gratitude and all the things that you do have, those other things can just melt the fuck away. So worry about that over this holiday. A lot of people die for your freedom, die for you to have, you know, the life that you do have, whether it be bad or good. Think about you being thankful for the life that you have, that you're breathing, that you're up, that you're walking, that you're talking. That said, a lot of you need to work on your expectations. A lot of you expect more out of people like me, out of people on Instagram, people on TV, people in the world. You expect more out of people like us than you do from yourself. You need to stop expecting more from other people than you do from yourself. Start looking inward. This is a good time, a good weekend to reflect on exactly who you want to be and exactly how you want to get there. Stay hard.
I just wanted to enjoy it, you know. A lot of people force their shots, and I honestly believe power is an illusion. It's the perception of power is like if it's tense and squeezed, but to me that can be seen a mile away. So I just like to place and just let it go. It's 4-ounce gloves. You just need to tip the chin.
To look at your behaviors and understand that there is this chain of there is this order that happens in your body, and reverse it. Take a behavior first approach. What, if you want to get in better shape, what does somebody do who is in the kind of shape that you want to be in? Ask yourself what the behavior is, because I'll tell you, the reason why you're not taking those behaviors is because this chain of events in your body, from sensation to perception to feeling and emotion to thinking, is constantly telling you, meh, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. It's not going to work anyway.
I'm going to eat that thing.
Yeah, I'm going to eat that thing. I'll do it tomorrow. And you can reverse it.
The world's too noisy. Your mind needs quiet. For you to find who you are. People ask, what's my purpose? Why am I here? You're not going to find it nowadays unless you lock yourself in a quiet room in your mind and find it. It's too noisy. For me, I could be in a busy street in New York City, horns honking, and I'm walking around with like nothing. It's me and myself in a quiet spot. And when you are constantly reflecting on who you are, where you've been, the journey you've gone through, the journey you can continue going through, the feeling's always there. You don't allow the world to pull you so fast that you forget. You don't allow yourself to pull you so fast that you forget. It's not about staying in that moment. It's about you want to get to the point where that feeling follows you like breathing.
That is you. That is you. That no one can do it for you but you. And even though you face disappointments, even though you will experience some setbacks, it goes with the territory. What if we have that kind of attitude? The car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and saying to yourself, it's not over until I win.
Look, it can be easy to dehumanize others. And when we dehumanize, we separate people from who we are, from what we are, and it becomes easy to hate them because they are different from us. Well, I'm telling you, they are not that different. The person you are looking at, that is a person. And yes, they're angry, and yes, they're frustrated, and yes, they're scared, and they're tired, and they're fed up, and they're aggravated. And they're full of potential, and they are deeply flawed. In other words, they are a person, just like you.
There's a saying that if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. At Apple, I learned that is a total crock. You will work harder than you ever thought possible, but the tools will feel light in your hands.
I view myself as the weakest person on the planet Earth. My goal in life was to, in my mind, believe I'm the hardest man alive. And that's why the whole thing is can't hurt me. That's what it's about. It's about whatever you think you are, you have to make that dream a reality. But that's where the hard part is making that dream reality. That's where the hard work comes. That's where people know, how do you keep grinding every day? You have to make those insecurities, those fears. Like when I was 300 pounds, I didn't have any drive. I'm gonna go be a Navy SEAL. What kind of stupid shit is that, 300 pounds? There wasn't like a drive to go be a Navy SEAL. I was an insecure, lying kid, afraid. I had to look at my insecurities and in my fear and find drive in that. We're all looking for passion. Passion's all around you.
Sometimes you can become deeply cynical about the world if it's the Nietzsche thing.
Yeah.
Battle not with monsters, lest ye become a monster. Yeah. And if you gaze into the abyss gazes also into you.
Right. But I would say, bring it on. If you gaze into the abyss long enough, you see the light, not the darkness.
Are you sure about that?
I'm betting my life on it.
So I just got through working out, and this guy goes, "Hey, Goggins, you on that winter arc shit?" I'm like, what the fuck is winter arc? He's like, well, people are like setting goals for the winter time, like working out more, sleeping more, just better habits and goal setting and shit like that. I go, I'm on that 365 shit. It's not an arc, it's a fucking circle. I've been on it for like 30 fucking years. It's a circle that keeps going around and round and round. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Have enough pride in your fucking self to not have this hacky shit to get motivated. Love yourself enough to stay motivated 365. Fuck an arc, do a circle, stay hard.
Being an asshole is a weak person's idea of strength. Complaining is their connection. Never let yourself be held back by other people's fears. People criticize what they were afraid to do themselves because bold action reminds them of their own inaction. If you're afraid to be criticized, why do you care about the opinions of those who are too timid to do it themselves? If you are the criticizer, does tearing down someone who has the courage you lack make you better?
You had nobody anyway. Look around you. There was no fucking team. It was you. There was no weight loss program or mom and dad waking you up saying you can do it, you can be better, trying to build belief. You built belief when you had nothing. Rock bottom. You did that. So as times get hard for me, the truth comes out. And my truth is powerful as fuck. It's real. It's tangible. I feel it. It comes out of my brain as I speak about it. I'm reliving every single dark moment of my life to be here.
You have to be comfortable with who you are and with your masculinity. So the word masculine has now got like this negative connotation around it, which is terrible because you're a young man. It's not every young man. Some men don't feel this way. But a lot of young men, I remember myself, you've got this testosterone that's roaring through you. You're competitive, you're ambitious, you have goals, you have this energy, you want to assert yourself. But it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. You're not supposed to be like that, you know? And the culture isn't about, there's no virtue in masculinity. Okay, there is such a thing as toxic masculinity, most definitely. But there are virtues in being masculine and have to be redefined. And we have to have icons and role models for that.